All right, guys. This is kind of like the first official episode of the Yell and Danielle podcast. The other one was the first episode, but this one is kind of a little more high tech. So, this is actually more territory as far as like streaming and doing a podcast. So I'm very comfortable, as you can see. I'm in my chair and I have a Yu-Gi-Oh shirt on, and that's really all I need because I am just a simple gal with trying to travel the universe. Um, if you're just joining us, then I don't know if you know about my book Scuttle Scout, a science fiction epic. It's written by me, has my name at the bottom, Daniel Hudgens, and it is about a group called Scuttles. And basically, what Scuttles are is a biomechanically engineered race, and they have a ship called Scuttle Prime. Now, each group of Scuttles is made for that ship. So you have Scuttle Scout, and then you have Scuttle Rover. They're the ones. For all my Star Trek fans, you know what an away team is. So that's what it is. For everyone else who isn't a Star Wars or Star Trek fan, um, they go down to the surface and they're constantly gathering data. Now there's this thing called the infinite calendar. Now the infinite calendar is a it's like a thing in the universe all across the cosmos. You have every planet in every universe, every galaxy, and they all do their thing. So basically, the Scuttles you have on that ship, while Scout and Rover are collecting all the data from being on the planet, you have a Scuttle Captain, which is obviously the captain, and then you have a Scuttle Warden, a Scuttle Sentinel, and a Scuttle Watcher. One of them actually is the keeper of the technology. One is more for security. They're constantly going. All of them are going through the data that's coming in because it's constantly coming in. Scuttle Rover is definitely a fan favorite. Rover is basically essentially a dog. Um, he's she's kind of like this. I don't know. When I think about the original concept I had, it was like a round thing with like almost like other gears and things on it. But the more I started to draw more and more concept art, it just started to come out like a little, almost like a dog, because the tail is constantly swiping back and forth, gathering data. And then of course they have like a dog like face because they're eating, grass and the things that dogs eat. And then you have their four paws. So they're constantly gathering data, and so is Scout. So that's basically what this book is about. They're going around from different planets, different cosmos, different universes. Something actually happens. I can't. The book doesn't come out till Friday, so legally I cannot give away too much information. And for the guys and the gals who have been listening to this for a while, you're probably tired of hearing that. But too bad, because I don't want to get sued. So, uh, so they're going around, and something weird starts happening. Now, Scuttle Prime, the ship itself, it has this thing in the center of it where it actually bends reality, and you can kind of see it on the book. You got these little circular things, and they bend reality. Now, the way they get to and from planets, they go through tundras, bends reality, and goes in, and also oceans. There's a lot of ocean planets, and then of course, Earth has a lot of oceans. Well, the infinite calendar is basically, if it's not followed, if there's a planet that's not doing what it's supposed to be doing in its universe, it could potentially be dangerous for the other planets. So in this book, we don't really get into where the Scuttles came from. We just get into what they are and what their purpose is. Because even though I wanted to make this much, much longer, my editor said that getting close to 500 pages on the first story is kind of a lot already. So, what do you do? But anyway, so they go and they're doing their job and everything. Well, they get called on one to Earth. Well, Earth is somehow ahead and behind. I can't tell you how, but thanks to AI, I can tell you that thanks to AI and social media, coincidentally, we are behind. We've gotten way off our path. But the earth is beautiful and life is worth living, and that's what this book explores. There is a gentleman named Rowan, very handsome man. You guys will see the concept art for him. And he works at the library, actually the Mobile Public Library. It's based in Mobile, Alabama. Now, if you know anything about Mobile, Alabama, you know Mardi Gras, the Gulf Coast, you know, oh man, seafood, you know, Battleship Park, everything is great. Everybody is here. Everybody has dogs. We all love each other. Um, in the South, it's hard to explain if you don't live here. So, but if you do live here, then you know that you can just become best friends with anybody. You'll be at the grocery store and you'll just see someone, sometimes for the first time, sometimes you just see them all the time. And then you just start talking. And then eventually you guys are best friends. It happens. So it's very easy to make friends in the South, and people who actually come on vacation down here. A lot of times, people will just end up moving down here. It happens a lot. Um, so you know, it's there's a culture of fellowship here, even if you're not religious. There's a fellowship. People have a wholesome familial mentality with each other, and that's what the book is really going through in Scuttle Scout when they get to Mobile, Alabama. You know, they're essentially embraced, and Mobile, Alabama really has a lot of beautiful things. If you live here, then you know about Battleship Park, you know about Bellingrath Gardens. Um, if you don't live here, you may or may not know this, but there is a heavy presence of STEM in Mobile, Alabama. Science, technology, engineering, mechanics. You may or may not know this, but not just Mardi Gras and the Gulf Coast and sea life, but Stennis Space Center is actually essentially just like an hour away from us, and that's where NASA shoots off rockets. That's the NASA. So I don't know if you're aware of that. We also have shipbuilding here. So there's a lot of shipbuilders, and we're also a major port city. So anything to do with logistics. Um, Mobile, Alabama has a lot of things that people just don't realize. I mean, I know people talk about we have hurricanes and tornadoes, but it's a lot more than that. And there's a lot of jobs here. If you travel just a little bit down, if you ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, the writer actually is from Alabama, and it wasn't filmed in Biobattery, but it was supposed to be. I'm not really sure what the well, I do know what it is, the thing that happened, but I'm not going to get into that. But the point is that they made the set specifically to look just like Biobattery. Biobattery is really nice. Like you go down there and essentially it hasn't really changed, but it also has like they have an Airbus, so Airbus is down there. And then you have Dolphin Island Parkway and Irvington. Um, Irvington has a lot of things. It's being built up very quickly. You can get on the interstate and pretty much be anywhere in 15-20 minutes. So for all my people who live in Irvington, you know what it was like before the interstate exit came up. Um, Again, some of the nicest people. There's a lot of shrimp boats in Biobattery, and some of the Pirates of the Caribbean ships were actually built in Biobattery. So that was kind of a big deal when it happened. Um, you know, Biobattery has a lot of things going for it, and a lot of people don't realize it. And it's a very nice touristy kind of area, especially if you've never been to what they have down there called the Blessing of the Fleet. There's a lot of community things. There's like the Watermelon Festival. I think that's coming up in Grand Bay. And a lot of people come out and you see all kinds of things that people do, like wood burning. There's people so talented that I mean, if you think Etsy is talented, you should just see some of their tents. Like, you know, of course, you have people who make bracelets and necklaces and scrunchies. You know, they make some really beautiful ones. I have bought some incredible bows that I've never seen in a store look the way that the ones that I got in person. But people will actually burn an image into a piece of wood from a picture, and it's really incredible. I don't even know how they do it. You have people down here who are leather workers. and they make all kinds of things. They make bags, they make bows. I have a lot of holiday bows that was actually made by people, and I've watched them make it. Like this one woman when I was at a Christmas extravaganza in July, and it's like a women's Christmas thing. Boy, guys can come. It's not like a you can't come. Everybody can come. That's the thing. But this woman, she just makes these bows with little barrettes, and they're beautiful, and I have a ton of them. Um, they just make a lot of things, and there's a lot of engineering and the technology side of Mobile, Alabama. I don't think people understand how big of a deal it is that when you go downtown Mobile, you see the port, you see Austell. It's really quite incredible. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how many years in a row, but I know one of these past years we've made the top cities to visit in the U.S. Top 10 cities. Mobile really, really is quite incredible. So I would encourage anybody to come down here and experience it for yourself. And that's really why I wanted to base Scout and Rover being on Earth. I really wanted them to be in Mobile, Alabama, because I think when people think of the United States, I think they think of Los Angeles. They're thinking of Arizona, um, Las Vegas. There's a lot of things. Florida gets a lot of attention because of Disney, and California obviously too. I know Atlanta's getting a lot of attention, predominantly because of Netflix. They filmed Stranger Things in Atlanta and everything. And Atlanta's not that far from Mobile, but man, I think the last time maybe a movie was filmed here, I don't know, don't fact check this, but I think it was Under Siege. That Steven Seagal movie back in the 90s. I love that movie, actually. Tommy Lee Jones is in that movie. That movie's awesome. Gary Busey's also in it. One of my favorite jokes is it's not really a joke or anything. It's just one of those like silly moments in the movie where somebody's asking Gary Busey what happened to his face. He has like a band-aid like up here on his face, and he says he cut himself shaving. I don't know why, it just makes me laugh because it just seems ridiculous because it doesn't, it's something else to do with the movie. Just ignore me. I don't know. The point is come to Mobile, Alabama, because it is really awesome. And if you read the book, you'll see some of its charm. The food is really good, and yeah, pretty much anywhere you can hop on Google and it'll point you in the right direction. There's a lot of places where they're family owned, privately owned. Of course, you can go to franchises and everything and chain restaurants, but you can get some really incredible food down here in Mobile, Alabama. Um, on top of fishing, so a lot of people, they go and they fish for their food, and then they clean the fish, take it home, and eat it, and it's really awesome. And we have some really good schools. The kids down here, they're really nice, and just Mobile, Alabama is just really a good place to be. So I don't know. I just kind of went off on a tangent there. The point is read Scuttle Scout. I'm over here getting weepy about my city, you guys. I don't know. I love it here, okay? And also we have Owa, which is like a huge water park situation. Um, Not like I ever go to a water park. I'm gravitationally challenged, okay? But I know I've taken my niece, and there's a lot of people travel to go to Owa, and it's really nice. They have like this candy store that has all different kinds of candies. Um, of course, we have Bel Air Mall, which a lot of people say that the mall is dead, but I don't think so because it's constantly packed, and they're always opening new stores in there. So I like that. They have a place called Rocket Fizz that has all kinds of different candies. Very popular. Um, on top of that, we have a lot of dog parks too. So I think Mobile's kind of getting its. We're also going to have a Barnes and Noble here. We have one in Daphne, but we're fixing to have one here in Mobile. Um, you know, definitely come check it out if you can. Here's something that's kind of funny. Um, we had a really bad storm the other day, and it was basically a tropical storm that was I think coming off Texas or Louisiana. I'm not really sure. Um, but it rained here for a very long time, probably like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks straight. And Mobile's apparently the rainiest city in the U.S. And somebody, including me, will hop in every now and again and say, "Isn't that Seattle?" No. And apparently, if you look it up online, it actually also tells you that even though people think it's Seattle, no, it's actually Mobile, Alabama that rains a lot, and the grass doesn't stop growing. It's highly annoying. It's also really hot here sometimes. So, but anyway, only the good stuff is in the book Scuttle Scout. Definitely check it out this Friday. It's going to be for sale on Amazon. If you go on my TikTok shop, we have some exclusive items that a lot of it's going to be made by me or my producer, and it's going to be exclusive. Like you can't get it anywhere else. It's not like, so if you see people selling it on Redbubble or Etsy, that's not us. And a lot of my stuff will be signed. So just about all of it will be signed. And if you get like the special edition hardcover, that's not going to be the hardcover you can get on Amazon. Um, I'm not entirely sure why some of my videos on TikTok blew up and some of them have not. So I'm not really sure what the situation is with TikTok. I just keep uploading, and that's what my team tells me to do. So I just do what they tell me to do. But also, school kicks back up for me. Pursuing my master's, that kicks back up Monday. So it's gonna be a busy week, you guys. It's gonna be really busy. We're supposed to be having a launch party for the book. I'm not really sure. I have my agent and my advertisers. They're telling me that they have some places in mind, so I'm not really sure. I'll keep you guys updated. I am taking suggestions also. Anything you want me to potentially make as far as merch. I know somebody mentioned coloring books, which was kind of a interesting thing, and I have looked into that. And there are apparently printers that you can buy that actually turn pages into coloring book pages. So I'm not really sure. I do have some ideas. I do want to do some giveaways for some of these wonderful places in Mobile, Alabama. It depends on if they want to do a partnership or not. That's not really my department. That's my agent's department. So that they will probably let me know about that. So um, like if you haven't seen Bellingrath Gardens during Christmas time, you're really missing out. They have this thing called Christmas Nights in Lights, and it's really beautiful. It's acres and acres of just flowers and lights, and then they have they say it's a house, but I think it's a mansion. I don't know, man. It's beautiful. I like to go there around 4 o'clock when it's like dusk, and then the little ladies they make a meal there, and I just have dinner there. I start touring the gardens, and then man, it's just really beautiful, especially if you go with loved ones, even if you go by yourself. It's definitely incredible because by the time you leave when it's dark, there's going to be rows and rows of cars, and it's going to be quite difficult to kind of get out. So you definitely want to plan your trip because you will be waiting in your car a very long time for a parking spot. It's a very big attraction. So definitely look into that. They also do weddings there. Um, but yeah, it's really beautiful down there, and the technology and engineering side of Mobile really is something of a wonder. And I'm not just saying that because I live here. I think it's great. Um, but if you guys are wanting anything in particular, or if you guys want a book that maybe you're sending for a gift or what have you, I can, if you contacted me and I have enough time, I would be happy if you're buying it for somebody. I'll be happy to make it personalized. I have things like wax seals and flowers, and just things I can make it a little bit more special for you or for that person. Um, somebody just messaged me, and I guess they want me to read this Reddit story. I don't know if they know this person personally. It says, "Would I be the a-hole if I countersue for what I consider an accident for the cake this other woman's daughter wrecked after she ran into me?" Ooh, that's interesting. Already, I don't know who's at fault. In the middle of June, I had just picked up a custom chocolate cake from a bakery that cost $65. On my way back to the car, a woman and her two kids were coming out of church across the street where a wedding was taking place. I crossed at a crosswalk about half a block from the church. I saw the mother telling her little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and dressed in a very nice white dress, to stop jumping around and stay still. The girl didn't listen. She ran off, laughing and looking backward instead of paying attention, and ran straight into me. I dropped the cake and it hit the ground on impact. Chocolate went everywhere on the pavement, on me, and all over the little girl's dress. Well, that's not cool. The chocolate's very hard to get out of stuff, you guys. The mother came running and screaming at me. There was at least two people behind me and another woman on the church property who saw it happen. The mother kept yelling that I had ruined her daughter's dress. No, you ruined your daughter's dress. Uh, I don't know what is going. This is another weird thing in Mobile, Alabama. I know I keep talking about it because, hey, I'll gotta give fans what they want. Okay, what what's going on with all these Wawas and car washes? You know, a lot of people joke that it was like a kind of thing with the car washes because after a certain popular show, this is also a kids channel, so I'm not trying to like be weird or anything. But the point is, why do we have so many Wawas? Why do we have so many gas stations? So many, we have a lot of Dollar Generals too. Dollar Generals opening everywhere. Wawas opening everywhere. It's kind of weird. It's not like I'm like people online who get upset and they tell them, don't come down here or what have you. A lot of people say Aldi came from the north, so stay away, and that's ridiculous because Aldi didn't. Um, but it's just crazy to me. Does anybody else feel this way? I know it's kind of like well, why are you bringing this up kind of situation, but it's kind of like not really shower thoughts because I'm not thinking about a convenience store while I'm in the shower, but it's just weird to me like that people are just we're just driving by every day and it's like you see something online or somebody at work will say, "Hey, do you know what they're building over there?" And then, which I was pleasantly surprised in Tillman's Corner to see that they opened a Chick-fil-A. It cracks me up because it's like wrapped around the building, and you look at that Chipotle, and there's like two cars in the parking lot, and both of them are probably the workers. I don't know how they're still staying there. A lot of people don't like Chipotle. I've I've only eaten there a few times. They're fine. I feel the same way about taco places that I feel and those bowl places, burrito places that I feel about every other place. Like I mean they're okay, and like Moe's Southwest Grill, Taco Bell. To me, I, when if you spend $20 and you get this meal and it's good, but you could spend $20 at the store and eat that stuff for days. Like I don't know, it just feels weird. Um, I haven't even gone and eaten at that Chick-fil-A, to be honest with you. The line stresses me out. If I see a long line, that is a number one deterrent. I don't care how fast it's moving, it stresses me out. I can't really, I don't know. I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I just don't want to be around like confined spaces. Kind of like you ever driving on the interstate and then you're driving and everything's fine, and then there's a semi on your left, and then there's a semi over here, and then there's a semi in front of you, and it's just like it feels like your car's doing this. It is so stressful to me, and I just don't know why, but I guess at some point the older I get, I just don't want to. experience that. I don't know why. It stresses me out being around people. A lot of people say it has to do with COVID, but I don't think that because I it was like that before COVID. I think people blame a lot of stuff on COVID. Um, they should have a lot of stuff blamed on them, but it's not really it's not really like the problem that everybody thinks it is. Like it's not the main thing that changed all of us in society because a lot of us were already homebodies and a lot of us didn't go to a lot of shows, concerts because of that. Like I know a lot of people you're hard pressed to get them out of the house to do anything that isn't their job. Um I don't know. This is kind of weird. One of my friends just messaged me and asked me to talk about the best gas station restaurant. And this is a crazy one that you guys have brought up because someone that I know that's very close to me says that on McDonald Road there is a gas station that has incredible breakfast. And I I take that with a grain of salt because I'm really scared to eat there, and not saying that I would get some, but I just if I did, it'd be my own fault. But the point is that they say it's like it's an incredible breakfast. You got to go there. It's this gas station. It's right off McDonald Road, and it's curious to me because it's literally. I think you can, if I'm not mistaken, if this is the right one I'm thinking of, you can see a Waffle House from this place. So and now mind you, I don't me and Waffle House we're okay, we're friends, but we're not lovers, you know what I mean? If you put a ladle of grease in my hash browns, I'm gonna get very upset. And I'm not gonna do anything about it, but I'll just be disappointed and won't eat it. Uh, but you'll go past a place that's kind of known for their breakfast and everything to go to a gas station. So that must be it. I do not know. I have not eaten there. I will though.
What's it called?
Because I hang on, what?
What's it called?
I'm not really sure what it's called. It's on McDonald Road. I will eat there in the morning if yeah, it looks like you guys want me to eat there in the morning. I guess I'll let you know tomorrow if it was actually good. I'll take a picture of my food and I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll make that the thumbnail. Um, that's so funny to me. Gas station food. There's a lot of gas stations to eat at here, and a lot of them not only do they have chain restaurants on the inside of them, but because we have a lot of interstate exits on ramps and off ramps, um, there's a lot of like it's very common to see like a Subway or a McDonald's in a gas station, but also you'll see Hunt Brothers Pizza and crunchy crispy chickens and the roost and everything. And that's really interesting to me because it's a whole bunch of fried chicken and Fusakli's and Cane's and Zaxby's and Chick-fil-A. They're all doing really well down here.
Bojangles.
Oh, Bojangles. You got that spicy chicken. I actually recently saw that apparently Bojangles is one of the most unhealthiest places to eat at, and that makes me so sad because man, guys, they have really good macaroni and cheese. It's really good. I like it. The only thing to make it better would be cornbread. If they would make cornbread. Guys, sound off in the comments. What place has the best cornbread? Can anybody let me know? Cause I know Mary's Kitchen on Airport, that's by Books a Million. They have very good collard greens and cornbread. Their cornbread is not sweet, so if you like really sweet cornbread, then I didn't tell you to go there. But if you like cornbread that's actually just cornbread, it's not like overly sweet. It's not overly buttery either. It's just the cornbread. The real ones know what I'm talking about. Um, you, it's good. Okay, just open up your cornbread, put the collard greens on top. It's very good. It's very seasoned. It's very good. Their turkey necks are good. So, and so is their rice and gravy. They have a lot of good food, but to be honest with you, the it's really hard to find good collard greens and cornbread that's like in a restaurant. So I know Big Time Diner has really good green beans, crab claws. Um, yeah, definitely check them out. So basically, any place with crab claws is really on my radar. But if anybody knows any place that has any good cornbread, collard greens, anything like that, any other place I can try it out, that would be awesome. Because I can make my own. But to be honest with you, by the time I get done cooking it, you know how it is. Like you don't feel like eating, and then it's in the fridge, and then the moment has passed. Um, yeah, it's the amount of restaurants down here that are in gas stations are crazy. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and try the one that's in that's down the road from that it's on McDonald Road, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and try that one tomorrow morning, and I'll take a picture of what I get, and I will let you guys know um, what you think, what I think about it. Um, is Amtrak ever gonna open, you guys? Does anybody know the status on the Amtrak? We were supposed to get one. Has it already opened? Mary, what do you know about it?
I don't know nothing about that.
Well, nobody does. Okay, I don't know.
But I'll write on it as soon as they bring it out.
I'll write on it too. Where's it gonna go? Let's go. It's supposed to be
It's
what?
supposed to go to Mobile to New Orleans.
Mobile to New Orleans, you guys, and then I'm gonna get dressed up because I'm gonna be on the Amtrak, and this is an occasion. Okay, you get dressed up for an occasion. Okay, get dressed up. Let's keep it holy. Okay. Whoops. Guys, let's get on the Amtrak together. Let's start a party. No, let's not do that. We'll probably get asked to leave. Let's not do that. It sounded good the second I said it, and then I got really stressed out the very next second. So second one, great. Second two, not great. Um, Also, I don't know if I should do this, but some people said about starting a subreddit, and the only reason I can think of why I would want to start a subreddit for the Yell and Danielle podcast is so I can see y'all's dogs. Um, if you want me to do a subreddit, let me know. I have to have like 50 people tell me, and then I'll do it. But if too many people tell me, I won't do it because all of you are telling me to do it, and it immediately makes me want to not do it. And it's like watching Game of Thrones. I tried to watch Game of Thrones, and there was just too much, a lot of brothers and sisters uh, doing that. I'm not really down with that, you guys. But also, that was one of the shows at the time. Everybody was trying to shove down your throat. You gotta see it. You gotta watch it. And it's like every time I said I didn't watch it, they'd say, "Hey, did you see that new episode of Game of Thrones?" And then I'm like, I don't really watch Game of Thrones. You haven't watched Game of Thrones? How have you not watched Game of Thrones? Well, it's simple. I have a job and I am busy most of the time. Yeah, but how can you not watch it? Then I don't want to watch it. I don't know. It's stressful. I don't want to watch it at that point. Because then everybody's telling me, and now it's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch it now. And then everybody ended up hating it because of something with the ending. And I don't know. Every time I tell people the reason I don't want to watch it, if a show has way too much R-rated material, you know, too much of the or too much graphic scenes, like excessive gore, and if there is a lot of subject matter like SA, I am not down with that. Now, it's cool if people fight, but I'm kind of the type of person that, and I felt this way for a long time. Like, I'll watch a movie, and two people, I'll be watching a movie about something to do with nothing. It'll be espionage, or it'll be some kind of movie about history, and then two characters will just look at each other, and you kind of know the look, and they'll immediately just start going at it. Why, guys? Stop! Anyone in Hollywood is listening. First off, why are you listening? Weird. Also, stop doing that, please. Like, even if you do have the rating on there, like it's just weird. Also, this is really funny because I went to watch a show with my parents, and there's if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z, it's very funny to me because that show is awesome. And then I go to watch it, and I get my dad, and I'm telling him when I'm a kid, I'm like, Dad, you gotta watch Dragon Ball Z. It's so good. So many good episodes. It's the season with Lord Frieza. And guys, you know what I'm talking about, okay? It's on Namek. It's really good. Spoiler alert, Krillin got killed. You know how it is. And then we finally get my dad to watch it. And the episode that comes on is not even a good episode. So in my family, we call that Dragon Ball Z syndrome. Like when you get someone to watch a show and then it suddenly sucks, it just I can't explain the frustration in that. And it's like years and years and years later, like we still joke about that, but years and years later, my parents while we're watching that show, what's the vampire show?
Vampire Diaries?
Nope.
True Blood.
True Blood. Uh, first off, that was one of the shows that everybody was telling me to watch. They were like, if you're not watching True Blood, you're not living. Well, I'm paying taxes, and boy, does it feel like I'm living. But anyway, my parents are like, hey, watch this show. It's really good. So we all are gathered up to watch it one day. Now, mind you, I went ahead and decided way after. It was already hot. Everybody was already reading the book. Anna Paquin probably said, stranger's a friend you just haven't met yet, or something. Probably 18 times she said it by this point in the show. I like Anna Paquin. But the point is that I watched it, and the first episode is the blonde guy is they're in like a shipping container thing, and Bill I think is the who's the lead guys.
Bill and Eric.
Okay, Bill is Bill Compton.
Bill Sookie's dude. Eric is Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay. Uh, the guy who owns the nightclub is Eric, right?
Yes.
Okay. The guy who owns the nightclub, arguably very aesthetically pleasing
Eric Northman.
to look at. Eric Northman. So, the character Bill, he is on the phone and he's arguing with some lady. He's like, we gotta go do this thing, and then this thing, and we gotta go do this thing. And he's like, he hangs up the phone. He's like, Eric, what are you doing? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in the background. And this man, no kidding, guys, him and this girl are going at it in the background. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. And my parents are like, it's very awkward. And so my brothers are like, it gets better, I swear. And when I see they're going at it, I mean in the biblical sense, you guys. So I'm just kind of like, they're having an argument on the phone, but also two people, very fully nude, are going at it. And then Bill gets off the phone and says, Eric, what are you doing? We need to go. And he looks right at Bill and he says, okay. And then Bill says, who is this? And he says, she's my sister. Guys, they were just going at it. Okay? I don't even know what to say. Okay, and then my dad, because he's hilarious, hops immediately, because he knows I'm about to make a joke. He goes, "It's not like that. This show's not like that. This is just Dragon Ball Z syndrome." Because after all this time, and my biggest problem with shows is like, this is a show about vampires and werewolves. Now, if you were hanging out during the whole time in the mid 2000s and early 2000s where vampires, werewolves, all of that was hot. You know, they made the Van Helsing movie. To me, it's always been a great subject because I don't know if you guys know about Anne Rice and Interview with the Vampire. For one, the book is very good, and for two, the movie is very good. Albeit they didn't exactly follow the book, which very rarely do they. But I really think when Tom Cruise played Lestat, I really believe that was his best role. As someone who loves the Mission Impossible movies, I really think that he that he was at his best at that moment. And man, I know they someone told me that they made a show called Lestat that's on right now, and that's really cool. I haven't checked it out yet though, but maybe I will. I don't know. I don't have a lot of time because school starts back up full swing next week. But yeah, I watched True Blood. I ended up going ahead and watching it just because I like to watch shows with my parents and everything. Um, but that's just another show where there's just gratuitous scenes with naughty naughty, and I'm not really down with that. There's a lot of movies and shows who do that. Um, I don't know. A lot of people like it. I don't really, but to each their own. Another thing that's funny to me is there'll be nothing that has to do with that, and they will just start. Like if you saw one of the, I think it was the last Star Wars movie that came out with Rey and Kylo Ren. Me and my dad and my older brother went to the theater to go see it, and we're watching the movie. And if you watch the new trilogy, well, newer trilogy with them in it, Ray and Kylo Ren are kind of basically like constantly arguing about, let the past go and all this other stuff. And there's not any chemistry like that between them. There's really not. And as a woman, and I'm sure a lot of my audience, you guys know what I'm talking about. You can kind of feel when there is. I feel like they decided to add it later on because just inexplicably they just start make it out in the movie. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, then spoilers. Sorry, but it has been out for a while, so. But just take my word for it; it's not very good. Um, yeah, they just start making out, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one because most of the people in the theater were like, "What?" So I don't really get that, but a lot of people I guess liked it because there was some hooting and hollering. I don't really get it. I just felt like maybe I fell asleep or I missed something major of the movie. But the point is that I don't know. I just wish they'd stop doing that in movies because I don't know if it's maybe my attention or what have you, but it just I don't know. I don't even know if it confuses me. It just I don't know. I don't think it adds anything. And then I think about it from the actor's point of view. Like, I guess kissing is fine, but it just, I don't know. When the camera zooms in and they're, removing clothing and all that, I don't think it adds anything to the story. I don't really think it does. Um, when I was growing up, everybody talked about that movie Basic Instinct all the time. They talked about, ooh, this, that, and the other, and it was like super X rated and things. I I didn't like it at all. There's a lot of scenes in that movie. It just made me kind of uncomfortable. I'm just like, I don't really know if that fits. But I don't know. I guess psychological thrillers are like that or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I wrote a science fiction book. I didn't write anything on psycho thrillers or psychological thrillers or what have you.
Psycho killer.
Psycho killer. Shout out to the killers. Speaking of the Killers, this is so random, but I found out that that song Mr. Brightside, which is arguably like their most popular song, apparently it was not popular when it first came out. Initially, I don't know if they had officially released it or they had started playing it, but there's this video circulating around on the internet um, with the Killers, and they're actually playing the song in a club or something, and nobody cares. And I guess it was just like the way they marketed it or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe they didn't market the song at all. But I know when I was a teenager, that song is still everywhere right now. Mr. Brightside probably plays. I probably hear that once a week at my job. And I'm not complaining at all because it's very good. I have a friend that's obsessed with the Killers, and yeah, she has got me to listen to some really, really good songs from them. You know who you are, buddy. But yeah, I was just very shocked to know that because I had already known of the Killers, but then that came out, and then everybody was a fan. So you know, it that's how it is. It was just interesting to me to because if I was in that club, I would be like, oh my gosh, like I would be so happy that they're playing that song. But I guess it just wasn't mainstream yet, so you know, people just really didn't care about it. But that's interesting to me because first thing I do when I was younger, as soon as I got a cassette tape or a CD, I listened to the whole thing, the entire thing, and that's what I love to do. And it's like I don't really necessarily think about, oh, is this a single, is this not, like hearing a single never made me really want to buy a CD. One band that I will listen to, I will always give them a chance, is Matchbox 20. Anything by Matchbox 20 and Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas is the lead singer. For one, he has a incredible catalog of music. I've actually seen him in concert. Rob Thomas, not the difference is one is his solo, and the other one is where he's with his band, and his band is incredible too. They are awesome, and I've been watching them since I was very little, and oh man, they've just banger after banger been put out. Um, it's just crazy to me seeing in the early 90s like the song Cody and Push and all that, and then it's just so surreal. Like if y'all remember when the Barbie movie came out and all the kids were singing that song Push when they were playing the acoustic, it was just so funny to me because like that song got insanely popular again because of that movie. And I've always loved that song. And I've always thought that the video was interesting because there's a scene where he's kind of like chained to a wall where he's like pulling on the chain, and he has like a little bit, as my friend says, a little boy haircut where it's like really close to the scalp. Uh it's a very interesting video, and you can hear the emotion in his voice. And as my dad says, he has a really good scream. There's a song on the same album, Yourself or Someone Like You, and it's called Back to Good. And I always remember about how when I was in I think second grade, I think it was second grade, they were playing that song during a St. Patrick's Day party we were having. I don't know why they were playing that song, and because I guess I don't know if I was the only one who felt this way, but I asked my friend, I was like, why are they playing this song? Because if anyone has heard that song before, then you know that that song is about cheating on, like, not your test, cheating on a significant other. So we're just eating pizza at school, just listening to that. I listened to that. But I was kind of confused why my teacher. I mean, I get why my teacher's probably playing it. Matchbox 20, total banger. Boop, 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 boop. Love Rob Thomas. That's a great song. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Go listen to the entire album because there's a ton of songs on there. Every song is a banger on that album, and I think today was actually the 26th year anniversary of Mad Season. That's another album they came out with. They had, I think if I heard correctly, they were on hiatus for a little while, and then they came out with the album Mad Season. So you should definitely, if you don't check out the entire album, definitely check out the song Mad Season. The video is very interesting. Basically, they're getting off of a plane, and their fans are just mobbing them, which I always think is kind of weird. I don't know why. When I see someone famous, I don't really have this idea that I want to like mob them or what have you. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird because they're a person. It just feels weird to me. I don't know. I've met quite a few famous people, and I it is cool to be around them, but in a different way, because they've lived different experiences. I feel the same way whenever I meet somebody who's from another country. I have some acquaintances and friends of mine who are from Africa, and their language that they speak is close to Swahili. And I really think because their norms and our norms are totally different, and a lot of the a lot of the stories they say and they talk about is very interesting to me. Just anyone who lives a different life, I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. I just like to learn in general. So to me, like somebody being from a different country and then having an experience living here it's super interesting to me because you hear it from their perspective, and it's like, for instance, um, I was working at a job one time and I was unloading those cookie tins that you see, those Royal Dansk cookies that you see during Christmas time. And I was working with a gentleman, and he had never. We were unloading them, and he had never heard of them before. And so I was just hyping them because I was like, "Oh my gosh, somebody who doesn't know what these are." Because they're for sale everywhere. They're even at Dollar Tree. They make um, the little tiny cookie tins of them at Dollar Tree. They got the big ones at Walmart, Costco, basically everywhere. So he had never seen them, heard of them, and the big girl in me was just like, I love these, and I was just telling him all the different ways you could eat them. And then a couple days later, I can't remember if I had brought him some or he ate them on his own. Because that year I did bring him some, but he ended up eating some, and he was like, "They're so good," and I feel that. So I don't know. It's just exciting for me to like be a person that gets to introduce somebody to something. It's just really interesting to me. When I was younger, I played a game called Eve Online, and it wasn't very popular stateside, but it was very very popular in the UK and in China. Uh, so there were some people who didn't speak English, but a lot of people in China, they wanted to learn. So that's kind of where I got my penchant for like for teaching and stuff. I was a teenager and I was just helping people, learn English and everything. Um, so it was really fun because we get in these long conversations about how different things are in the states compared to other parts of the country, other parts of the U.S., other parts of the world. And it was just interesting to me, but I can't really explain it. It's just one of those things where, if you have an opportunity to get a pen pal, or maybe an email chain or something, it's definitely interesting to get to know someone from another country, especially since right now in the news we have the World Cup, and there's been a bunch of people who are really just, they've never been to a Walmart. There's a guy getting a tattoo of Walmart on his arm, and that just cracked me up because you know I I don't know. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time and recapture the feeling I had when I first like found something I loved, or like as people say, canon events in your life. Like those events that happen that is going to shape you. It's going to change you from that moment on, or something that you had that was a moment that was just so exciting. I mentioned Stranger Things earlier, and I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, but if you remember a couple years ago, um, one of the seasons, I think the one with Eddie Munson, that character, um, I think we had a watch party for the last two episodes that came out for that. And, I mean, it was fun. We had the crock pot. We had a bunch of people over. We all watched it. It was so much fun. And it's like, I just wish I could go back in time to where, like, everybody was hyped for that. Like, we're watching that, and that song "Running Up That Hill," everybody was just, they were just bumping that song, and you could hear it everywhere. And the song by Journey, "Separate Ways," was being played everywhere. That reminds me of my childhood because, like, I grew up listening to Journey, and it's like Steve Perry Journey. If you know, you know. um, I I love it though. It's like I remember just being at work, and as soon as I hear, it's like, oh, this is my jam. So like, I don't know. It's weird because like if you're younger and you listen to older music, people are kind of like, ugh. But if it's being bumped by everybody because of a show that's insanely popular, everybody's a fan of it. Everybody's thinking of the same thing at the same time. So it's like it was just really cool to me. Like I remember being in BJ's Brew House and Running Up That Hill started playing, and a lot of people, they're not like fans of Kate Bush or anything, but even if you're not, like I've never been one of those people that like they see a band on a shirt and they say, "You better name 3 songs right now." It's like, no, you can just like something. And I recently saw somebody online say that whenever they wear a band T-shirt, if somebody tells them to name songs, they just say that this was the last gift my dad gave me before he died. And I just thought that was so funny because sometimes people just they overstep. Who cares? Wear a shirt, don't wear a shirt. Who cares? The point is, though, is that I'm always excited just to have content from anything. When the Dungeons and Dragons movie came out, I was very excited because when I was a child and I played Dungeons and Dragons, I still play. It wasn't, you could not go down to Books a Million and just buy a book. You could not just go run and get a set of dice. Like you could not just go into your everyday storage. It's kind of like Warhammer. Warhammer is kind of everywhere now. And they're talking about making an Amazon show. But it's like you could not just go everywhere and get it now. Now you can get on Walmart.com, and I realize they're an integrated retailer. But the point is that you don't have to just go through one company just to get Warhammer. And I love Warhammer. Um, so it's everywhere. So when that movie came out and people were complaining about how, oh, this, that, and the other, stop complaining. Just be happy to have content. We live in a world where everything is go, 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 go. But what about the content that of things that, you're only as old as you feel. And it's not like wanting to live in the past, but a lot of people they have these ideals and moments that they have in a bottle inside themselves, and they're really beautiful moments. And I feel like anything that encroaches in on some of those moments, people automatically want to think is negative. I don't like that. I want people to be excited and happy, just like I am. Like there's a lot of people that are very negative about things that come out, and I'm just like, I'm happy to have more content. I'm happy that people care enough to really delve into that. Whether it's good or not is, you know, to be seen. But I mean, me personally, I like a lot of things. It's very easy for me to love things. Uh, it's like that song. It's so easy to fall in love. That's me. I love too easily. Don't fall in love with me. But that's the thing. I love things too easily. I have a big heart, and I love things, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you should look for the good in people, and you should look for the best intention. And I really, man, when I was younger, I was growing up, and all the kids were watching Jerry Springer. But I love when Jerry Springer would say, "Take care of yourself and each other." And I feel like nobody says that anymore. Now I realize that show was very trashy. But also, Mr. Springer was wearing a suit. And that's where that show Steve Wilkos came from, because he was the guy that was on there. My favorite thing about Steve Wilkos is on that show that he has, because Jerry Springer has passed away. R.I.P. Jerry Springer. Um, Steve Wilkos, it cracks me up because his show was very different. He would be in a pair of jeans and a black t-shirt, and it was so funny to me because people would get up and obviously want to fight, and it's staged obviously, or maybe it's not. Hey, if it's not staged, okay, maybe it's not. But he
Wait,
what?
check text messages.
Oh, am I running too long?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh man, I'm running way too long. But let me say this one thing. Steve Wilkos would say, "You want to get a fight? You want to be that guy? You want to get a fight?" And the other guy would be like, "Yeah, I want to get a fight. I want to get a fight." And he'll be like, I'm going to fight you." And he would say, "Sit down." It's like, you just said you wanted to fight. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, you guys, because I love you all, and I could probably talk to y'all forever. Tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but you guys are watching me at home and just texting me. So you could also send comments to the previous video on Spotify, and I will just compile everything before the show, and I will just hop on there, okay? And we'll just talk about what you guys want to talk about. All right, I love you. Bye.